It's the second 93-degree day in a row. Yesterday I was able to hide in the shade a little bit, and this morning I just took a trip. So that's where we are now. I have arrived. And before I show you the videos of everything I've been doing in the last few days and the progress I'm very happy with this year, I wanted to say hello to a bunch of channels that I watch and a few individuals who I've commented with. I want to say thank you to all of you because you guys are pretty big inspiration. I have an idea and I'm pretty sure it's going to be a good one that you'll like. I'm reaching out so I can't talk into the microphone and extend the camera out. So I wanted to share an idea with you, and I think it's going to be a great one. But before we do that, I need to bore you with some of the progress I've made in the corral area. The corral is a spot at my house where I put things away, and then a fence that creates the corral kind of hides it from the neighbors. Well, that fence has gotten old and it's been tipping over, so I've been replacing it slowly. If you've watched any of the other videos, you know that I have almost no budget for that type of thing, but that's not going to stop me. I'm getting by. It's no problem. I've made a lot of progress with the corral, and more importantly, where I am now, a couple hundred miles away, we have a new workshop space. So things that were stored in the corral now get to come down here, and that means the corral can be repurposed and become a little more useful to me, and I'm really looking forward to that. But in all this, there is a surprise. An idea came to me a couple Sunday mornings ago, and I'm going to share it with you in a little bit. But first, let me show you some video of what I've done, and then we'll jump back to the idea in a little tiny bit. Oh, and you may think I forgot somebody. Oh, no, I didn't forget. And by the way, there's a channel called Stevenson something, it escapes me, but look them up. I think it's a really neat channel. I'll find out later what the correct name is and I'll share it. No, I did not forget. And there's the proof. I've been raking every day. I come out for a little bit and rake, but today it's going to be 95, 96 or 97 degrees, and it's going to be a humid day. So my thinking is I will go hide in the shade over here. I've been making progress with sorting all the things that have collected and found themselves on the ground rotting away over the years. I've had a lot of fences fall over, and then the fence pieces get inside of this bishop's weed. I really like this vegetation. It'll all eventually probably get trampled, but I'm going to keep it as long as I can. And I've just been picking things up and sorting them. I love this kind of work. I especially like it because I'm the beneficiary this time. This is my backyard. Once I get this cleaned up, it'll stay cleaned up. That's been the trend the last 2 or 3 years now. Anything I clean stays that way. After a career of having a messy workplace, I've just gotten tired of that. Now, this isn't really my workplace. This is stuff I've been bringing in here. But sorting through all the little things. This is for me a lesson in life, and how life can always be improved. New habits, better habits. So this is the space I'm going to harness. It's a shed that hasn't been used for 20 years. It was just storage. I'll get all my lawn equipment tucked away in here, and then all this will get shifted out. This is the chipper that Elwood broke, killed the engine even after I warned him. And then you're also seeing a bunch of things tossed haphazardly to the left and to the right because I was pulling things out of the shed. I've got fence sections stood up so that hopefully no neighbors are witnessing any of this. Right, those two are just leaning on my bamboo. I am really enjoying all this. Mostly documenting it for my own fun. Okay, the plan now is to move this shed and the trailer that it's sitting on. Now, anyone that hasn't seen the shed before, it's an old demo shed, and it needs a new floor, which the sawmill lately is producing so much wood. I have no use for all the wood that it's giving me, so I'm thinking I'll make a floor out of the wood that I'm cutting, and we'll make this shed work again. Most people would say, hey, just get rid of that shed, and that's probably good advice. Aside from, I just want to pull this out, rearrange some of the other items so I can start towing them out of this corral area, and then slide this back in. So I'm looking for the least amount of resistance right now. I cannot take the time to haul this away to a dump or anything like that. This is one of my favorite trailers. It's a 6x10. The wheels are underneath the deck. The deck is all metal, and it's light. It's easy to load. It's actually a tilting bed too. I can't see it. And has a kind of an interesting story. I got it once, and it was like $50 at a estate sale or something. And I thought it was just, some piece of junk. So I sent it down, and it sat for years. And then we started using it, and I realized, hey, this thing is like pretty amazing. Uh-oh, can you hear that? Maybe some dirt. So it became a pretty great workbench because it's not high off the ground. It's got a great surface. You could just lay out your tools on it. You could literally move it up the street. If you remember, the houses I'm working on are one next to each other, some of them. Ah, got it. Well, just when I got real handy with it and all happy, somebody went and stole it, and I had it chained up and everything. So that's kind of sad. At that moment, right when you don't have something, you realize, oh, I really like that. Well, the real interesting thing is the police were able to recover it. How they recovered it from another town way away, there's no chance of that one going up. I have no idea, but I was real grateful. And unfortunately, I don't know who to thank. I generally thank the police in the local towns, but in that case, I don't know who did the work. But a towing company went and got it, and then when I was told to go pick it up from the towing company didn't charge me a thing. It's the small town advantages. You always hear about that when you live in a small town. I've been watching videos and trying to figure out how to make everything a little more interesting when I post it. And when people hook up trailers, some people will stand around telling goofy jokes and make you watch the whole process. Others will just kind of zoom in and you'll just see the tongue clip on to the ball. But I haven't gotten there with my video editing skills. And more importantly, showing you my 2 or 3 attempts to back up to this. I might be able to do it in one, but 4 or 5 is also pretty realistic. I think I'm just gonna hook the safety chain, maybe not around the wires, give this thing a tug, and then come up and back up to it. It's got to come out of this little hole I left it and get out of the way so I can access some more things. The trailer's rolling surprisingly easy. I mean, it has, well, it just has this shed. The shed's not that heavy on it. But in order for the roof of the shed to skip past my framing, I need to pull the shed over this way and then block these wheels. So when I pull again, these wheels will stay straight and those wheels will travel. And this is a wheel block. That's what those are called. Okay. See how that works. So again, the object is to pass this fence without taking it down. Okay, this is working. I'm almost clear of those rails, and I believe that if the front of the tongue came towards us, then that would rotate that ridge past those fence pieces. But never mind that. I'll get the thing out. That's no problem. But I think it's time to hook up to it. So I'm going to set the camera up and we'll see how many times it takes me to back up this truck that I recently purchased to this tow ball. For those of you guessing 8 to 12, it's pretty good odds. And those of you guessing 12 to 90, I think that's where your bet should be. But let's see for ourselves. First I gotta inflate one more tire, but I'll do that during the break. I'll tell you about that idea in a little tiny bit, but first we have to finish pulling this out. I will set the camera up and you will see whether I've invented the largest shingle removing tool short of a hurricane. Let's have you sit down here. Okay, everybody lean to the left, please. Okay, thank you. You see my tripod there? Okay. What do you think? More zoom? Yeah, me too. This is kind of boring, but I need to do this before I can tell you the idea. I'll tell you the idea in a little bit though. Hold on, everyone, a little bit. Okay, take your seats. We're gonna try. Yep, so you can see that worked, and you can probably tell that if it didn't work, I would have just kept on going. But I did hear a little odd noise, and the noise was my bamboo talking to me. And the reason is one of their guys says, "Ooh, look at this! He's pulling the shed off." I'm glad I didn't continue on there. See that space? It's twice as long as it was. Okay, I'm gonna have to correct this. Or maybe I can just slide the shed over. I'll be right back. I'll just get this moved. I like stuff like this. By the way, we are the weekend before the 4th of July, and I have decided that I am actually gonna take 2 days off. I work 7 days. Not every day is, you know, really hard, but I'm either available for a tenant problem or I'm traveling somewhere to get to another problem. But I think I'm going to take 2 days and do a couple easy things and just take them off. This is like a day off anyway. This is working on my house. It's funny, I keep saying my house, but that doesn't really tell you too much. Is it my house where I sleep? Is it my house where I have my garage? Or is it my house where I'm working, trying to rent out? I should be more specific. We'll just call this the corral area. Anyway, mission accomplished. The shed moved out. That was actually very, very, very easy. I thought I'd have a little more trouble. And it was funny because the bamboo almost knocked the shed off the trailer. I slid it back on fairly easy. It's surprising that shed doesn't weigh that much. Well, that's because there's no floor left in it. Anyway, let's have a look. You hear that frog laughing? Okay, so here is what we're trying to do next. There is the chipper that Elwood busted. It's the heaviest piece in here. Well, it's the heaviest piece we're moving today. I'm going to move it forward and then kind of wiggle it into space here. I don't have a spindle hook, but it has so much tongue weight that it should be fine. I unfortunately have no means to move this yet. My trailers that can carry this are a few hundred miles away. There's no truck that can bring them closer. So this is stuck. If not, I'd be starting from that, put it up on wheels. Okay, next step coming up. Back to step one. I went ahead and put the trailer back, a little farther back than it was. I abandoned the idea of repositioning it, and that was mostly for two reasons. And one was that there is a flat tire on this trailer that I need access to, and it's on this side. Had I moved it to its new location, it would have been fairly pinched in over here where this ladder is. Maria the chipper would have been gone, but I would not have access to that tire. And more importantly, that side of the trailer and the shed would have the floor that needs repair pinned against the truck bed. That's not going to work. That's a guaranteed project that won't get done. I need this shed repaired and rolled over and flipped up to either a tenant's house or another location where I can make use out of it. Tenants love sheds, and somebody's going to be really happy if I bring this over. So that's really what needs to be done. That's the critical path. But all this time wasn't lost. It's been about an hour, a little over an hour. There is something that came out of it, and that was what my goal was today. And that is this 1967 Cooper S. That's the real thing. And that shell now has the ability to head over into indoor storage. And this space that I've opened up, I can get a small trailer in there, load the shell up. I've been dragging the shell around myself, so I'm sure I can load it myself and I can get it to its new home. So I did something, not everything I wanted to do, and I'll tell you about my cool idea another time soon. With this space straightened up a little bit, I can go ahead and put away the log arch so no one can see that from the road too. I'm very sensitive. I want everything behind fences so no one can see anything. I want to build a big giant fence in so you can't see my house. Time to do our 200 miles. Third day I'm not watering the tomatoes because I was drowning them. The rain came too, so it may take more than a few days to save them. Look what's going with us. 1967 Cooper S. This is the real Cooper S car. 1275 engine, front disc brakes. It only had one gas tank in the bank instead of the two. So that makes me wonder, or it makes me question the year, but I was told it was a 67. show you something funny. Not the farm. And not the motorcycle. Not the trees. Not the railroad tracks. Not the sky. Not the house. I want to show you the car. Look how long the car is compared to the house. Ah, the 1970s. So here's my genius idea. That came to me about 2 Sundays ago. It was about 3 in the morning. I was worried about all the little problems that are popping up. Wasn't sleeping, and then I had this idea. Now, first off, I don't have money to be restoring any cars. That's not happening. I also won't put the cars in front of some empty houses, because once the empty houses are together, they can help some people, and moreover, some money will start coming in, right? So first things first. But I do have a little bit of time, and I do have a little bit that I could throw into the subframes of this car, and of course the engine. Now you're thinking, what about the interior? What about the paint? What about all that stuff? What about it? My idea is, I don't need a car to drive around in, but what I do need, I need something for the parades. And I'm not talking shiny parade, I'm talking fun parade. As in, imagine this car put together with just the driver's seat, nothing else, no windows, no upholstery other than what we make ourselves. And now we take, there's a little bit of echo there, we take the disabled kids that we usually take to the parades, and we invite them in, and they're sitting inside this car. Of course, it'll all be padded out, carpeted, everything inside will look somewhat new and clean. They can throw candy out the window at all the other kids that come and watch the parade, and we can have a great time. All the money that'll go into the subframes and the brakes and the different fuel lines and brake lines and all that, that could be all taken off and put onto another shell. Be interesting to know what you're thinking. Crazy? Half crazy? Or not crazy at all? We go to parades all the time. Whoop, and we go with bicycles, special bicycles. Well, it'd be easy to add this to what we've already doing. And I get the scouts to come and volunteer, and we invite all the disabled kids that we can possibly find. These are kids that can't ride bicycles on their own. So imagine they would have a blast riding in here. Years ago, I put a lot of miles on this rig.